Hi guys, how's it going? And welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing another tier list video for Grand Peace Online. You guys have been asking for another tier list. How does things rank? I know Goro has a flight. That's going to change things. Spoiler alert, it's a pretty great fruit. Some might even say it's one of the better fruits on the list. But we'll be ranking that. We'll also be ranking Mochi, Paw, and everything else. Also, this is based on PvP and PvE ratings of the fruit in general, so make sure you guys pay attention to this. This is the overall fruit, how great it is in one category and how great it is in another category, and we'll base it on these criterias and how well they do in each specific position. Nonetheless, let's get right into the tier list. So we have tier D, which is bad. We have C tier, which is niche. B tier, which is good, generally pretty decent at both grinding or PvP, but not really good at the other. Grapefruits is they're good at both of them, or they're excellent at one category and not great at the other, but they're really strong at one. And last but not least, the S tier fruits are the best fruits in the game. You should pick these up if you have the opportunity to eat these. Make sure you eat these because they have applications like no other, and we will get there. So let's start with D tier. D tier, the worst fruit in the game is Suke. Suke is not a good fruit. As far as everybody knows, Suke is not a good fruit. It turns you invisible. You throw a rock. You don't do very much damage. And I know some people are going to be like, well, I got really good at GPO in general, and I played with Suke, and I got to number 1 on the leaderboards, and I'm the best player alive. Turns out you're just a good player. The fruit has not increased your chances of winning. It actually made it more difficult to win. So congratulations to you if you're one of those commenters. I know you guys love commenting about these weird little interactions with Suke that are completely irrelevant when you compare them to other fruits. So it is a bad fruit. You're not going to change my mind on this. Next is Kilo. Kilo actually could be seen as a niche fruit because you can technically now again, Funk Novalu made a good video about this. You can technically get Kilo and solo dungeons with it through a very kind of annoying method. It takes a little bit of time to do. Just keep floating, hitting, floating, hitting, floating, hitting, and you can definitely win a dungeon this way and grind for other fruits. But at the end of the day, when you get this fruit or you eat this fruit, nobody's saying, "Oh, I love this fruit so much that I want to give away and I want to eat it over any of the B tiers, any of the A tiers, or any of the S tier fruit." So that's why it belongs in C, because it is niche. Now let's do one that's like a good fruit. That's just generally, it's pretty decent at both. Let's go with here. Let's go with Barrier here. Now people yeah, I think Barrier's probably B tier. It's pretty decent. It's actually pretty good in PvP, and it's in a PvE. It's actually pretty decent because you can use this fruit in solo dungeons. Actually, I don't know if you can solo dungeons, but you can get through dungeons a lot easier if your team doesn't have a good devil fruit. So what you guys can do is you guys can lock the bosses in corners, and your teammates can just blast them with a bunch of burst damage. It's very good, very oppressive, and also it's not that bad at grinding actually. If you use the barista method, you can also get your level pretty much to max pretty quickly. It's decent at the Fishman's. It's decent at Moria's Island. I would say it's generally like a good fruit. But it's a lower B tier fruit. Now, if you guys have not clicked away from this video, I'll explain why I believe it's not a niche fruit. I think it's not a niche fruit because it has 2 applications, right? Whereas Kilo has 1 application, that's it. Not great for grinding. You could argue it's better than Barrier on that front. But as far as it goes for dungeons, as far as it goes for PvP, definitely barrier is better for that, and that's why it's in the good category. Low B tier, not high B tier, but still in B. Next on the list is Spin. Spin is niche. I would even say it's bad, but it is niche. It has an up tilt combo that I don't know if they really fixed it, but that's like the only niche thing about it. It has some applications in a PvP setting, kind of like Kilo does in the other aspects of the game. It does have a mobility aspect to it, so it kind of bumps it up a little bit. But again, being able to solo dungeons is more important than just the aspects of mobility and PvP, because I put it in quotations because it's not there. There's one combo with it, and it's kind of decent, but it's not worth eating this fruit if you have barrier, But it might be worth eating it over Kilo if you enjoy it more. Next on the list is, let's see. Gomu. Gomu is, I would say Gomu's actually high C tier. I think it is good for grinding. I don't think it's good for PvP. I'm gonna put it in B tier, but because I think this is good for grinding, not great for dungeons. Not its applications for its mobility are kind of decent actually. Like I said, the PvP is where it's lacking, which makes it like I said, it's a good fruit. It's a good fruit when you're talking about rares, but again, it's not incredible. There's much better fruit on in the game, and that's why I think it is B tier. Next on the list is, let us go with, what is a fruit that would be in A tier very easily? Let us do Goro. Gura. Gura is really good. Gura is a great fruit. It's good for PvP. It's good for PvE. Doesn't have any mobility and and it's simply not a Logia. So that's why it's not in S tier. Incredible damage for PvP. Not the end all be all fruit, but definitely incredible fruit. Very cheap as well when you're talking about all aspects of the game. Value wise, it's very easy to get a Gura, and I think for that very reason, it puts this fruit above some of the other fruits on this list, just because of how cheap it is and how efficient it is. So this is a great fruit, an example of a great fruit. Next on the list is going to be Mera. Mera is one of the fruits in the game that's the best in the game. There's only a few of these, but this is one of the best fruits in the entire game, bar none. If you can eat this fruit, eat this fruit. It's a Logia. It has mobility. It can solo dungeons. It can do really well in PvP. And like I said, Logia and movement. It's really good. Not bad against Krakens. Not bad against Sea Beast, really. It doesn't struggle in any aspect of the game. And to be honest with you, I think this fruit is super undervalued. I think this fruit, for instance, is one of those fruits that if you have the chance of eating it, you do. And it's one of those fruits that you could easily have this for the rest of the game. And as far as I'm concerned, if you have Mera, don't even get rid of it. Right? Don't even get rid of it. Just make an alt account and then eat whatever fruit you want on that. Because again, Mera is so freaking good at what it does. And it does everything. Next on the list is Yomi. Yomi's really good at PvP. Really good at PvP. Really crappy at PvE. That's enough said. Like I said, kind of cool because it has mobility. The swaddle's really cool. The reviving's really cool. It has this niche interaction that's kind of interesting. I really, really like it. However, I'm going to say this again. The fact that Yomi itself sucks so hard at PvE makes it bearable when you have to grind. However, if you're already max level, then it's totally fine to just grind it out with this fruit. It's not like terrible. It's not as bad as like I said, these, but it is still pretty bad on the grinding front, but it is really good on the PvP front. So that is why it's a B tier fruit. Next on the list is it is Paw. Paw is a fruit that is good at PvP, not good at PvE. It is okay. It is good at PvP in the like this is great at PvP, this is great at PvP, right? It's not good in the aspects of I am going to PvP people, right? I'm going to play PvP as in the alt. The alt's not that great. When you go against dungeons, you're not just going to stand there and use your alt because you're going to get hit and die. Which makes its ultimate almost like a wasted move. So when you eat this fruit, you're wasting your main move. However, this fruit has something that no other fruit has, and that is its incredible bounty hunting capabilities. Very, very, very good. So you can teleport, you can go into lobbies, set your team up in a hidden location, teleport the individual that you're trying to bounty hunt, and then get everybody to spam and kill the character. Very, very annoying fruit. However, it's super, super good for that exact reason, and that's why I think it's good at what it does in PvP. But again, PvE, you're not doing dungeons with this fruit. I mean, you can, but you're not really doing dungeons with this fruit. It struggles on that front, and that's why I think B tier makes this a problem. Next on the list is Horo. Horo is a niche fruit. I'm gonna be honest, okay? You know what? I'm putting these here. Horo and Gomu. Horo is a niche fruit because it's really good at PvP. It's not good at PvE, realistically at all. And I think Gomu is the exact opposite. I think Gomu's pretty good at grinding, not great at PvP. So I think this is just like the mimicked version of that. I do feel like Horo should have a flight. If Horo ever gets a flight, it's going to make this fruit so much better. Also, the nerf that it had before, or that it ended up receiving, because it could solo dungeons before, this fruit could go up like A or like B or even A. But because it's in the state it is right now, it is a pretty niche fruit. However, it still has potential to grow, and if you're somebody who enjoys the combos that it has, I think that it could easily be a B tier fruit. However, it does legitimately struggle in PvE situations. Very, very hard. And that's why I can't put it in, I can't really put it in B tier, because it's, like I said, it's good, but it is really niche. Right, like I said, Gomu, it's, you know what? Fuck it, whatever. We're putting both of them in good. You know, we're putting both of them in good. It doesn't matter. They're both good. I think it's fine. Whatever. I think these three fruits are all good in their own way. I just think they do have some sort of niche, but they are actually pretty good now that I think of it. So disregard the last part. We're moving forward with this. Next on the list is Magu. Magu is a water walker, which makes it incredibly good at ship farming. It's also the best fruit for dungeon farming, apart from Mara. It is one of the most broken fruit in PvP. Realistically, there's not a lot to be said here. These two fruits are bar none the best in the game. I think everybody can understand that. Pika's on the list now. Pika here is let's do this. Let's add another category here. A+++. Or we'll make this one an S tier. S tier. Best fruits. And then we're going to put end all be all of fruits. There we go. There we go. The end all be all of fruits. I think obviously fantastic for PvP or PvE. Pretty good at PvP. Not the best at PvE because everything gets blocked, as well as in PvP, PvE, everything gets blocked. It is a fairly expensive fruit. However, I think when you're talking about a fruit like this, that it has such great mobility, it has such great range, it has such great grinding potential, and it has pretty good PvP skills. I think honestly this fruit should be one of the end-all be-alls fruits. Let me show you guys a fruit that's like in S tier. Kage is an S tier fruit because it's good at PvP, good at PvE. However, it lacks mobility, and it's more of a combat orientated fruit. It doesn't have like I said, it doesn't have the travel speed. You're not walking on. You're not a water walker. You're not a flight user. You're not like the slice of life things aren't as interesting. However, it is nice for PvP and PvE because you can use your clone to just fight everything while you just AFK, which makes this fruit incredible, by the way. For PvP, it's also really annoying because they have to fight 2 people, not 1. So again, very, very good. So that's why I think these fruits are really, really, really fantastic. Fantastic. There we go. Fantastic fruits. Fantastic. Alright, next on the list is Suna. Suna is a great fruit. I think it's really, really good for what it does. Great for grinding. Good for PvP. I think like some people will disagree with me here. I kind of feel like these two fruits are on like the exact same level. I feel like this fruit has a mobility which Gora doesn't, and it's a Logia. I think simply because of those two things, it puts it above Gora for those two reasons alone. However, when it comes down to PvP situations, I think this is a little bit better. It edges it out in that regard. For PvE situations, this also edges it out. But I think the luxury of having a Logia and the luxury of mobility makes this fruit integral to players who are starting the game. Next on the list is Bomb. Bomb is a great fruit. I don't care what anybody says. Bomb is a great fruit. I've done tournaments. I've made tournaments. Make sure you join my Discord, by the way, because we do tournaments and stuff, and we're going to start doing them again. The new update's coming, so make sure you guys stick around. But Bomb is a great fruit. I'm done putting it in this weird tier where people are going to be like, why is Bomb better than Paw? Hear me out. Bomb solos dungeons, done deal, right? Bomb is also really good in PvP, okay? I'm going to be honest. This has a dodge, right? This has mobility. But Bomb it has a grab, right? It also has a dodge, right? Or like a dash. It also instant kills all enemies in the game pretty much, except for bosses, right? And the good thing about Bomb is when you are getting hunted by bounty hunters, as soon as you start exploding, if they get hit by a bomb user, 9 times out of 10 they're either dead or in the red. Like, Bomb has so much utility. It's so good. I'm done putting it in B tier. I think it's really, really good. Now, people are going to see, why is Paw lower than Bomb? Is this guy crazy? Why is Yomi lower than Bomb? I'm telling you, the reason why I think Bomb is above that is because it has some things that it does way better than both Yomi and Paw has. And that's why I'm putting Bomb in A tier. I don't know another fruit that you would tell a brand new player to pick up that's as cheap as it is, efficient as it is, and as good as it is in all 3 categories. I don't know what other fruit you'd say. When somebody starts the game, what do you say? You say, I want them to eat bomb, put your stuff in health, blow up a bunch of times, you'll be maxed by the end of tomorrow, and then you can move on to getting other fruits. By the way, you can do that by yourself in dungeons. So I think bomb is fantastic. It's really good. Everybody should eat bomb when they start the game. Next on the list is Mara. Mara's a good fruit. I think Mara's broken. Honestly, Mara's broken. It's still broken. The infinite combos with it is still broken. It's OP as hell in PvP, and it's not bad in it's OP in PvP, not bad in PvE. Pretty good. I think it's better than Bomb in PvP. I think it's better than or not Bomb. It's better than Paw in PvP, but maybe not Yomi. I think this is generally where it is. I think that's probably fair. None of these are Logias. None of these ones are Logias, which makes sense. When it comes down to it, Logias just have an innate value over Paramecias typically. And I think generally when you're talking about the heart fruit, literally top 3 fruits in the game for PvP. Maybe top 2 fruits in the game PvP, and it's a rare, right? You could even argue it being an A tier fruit, but again, it doesn't really have the PvE to back it up. I'm gonna leave it in B tier. Screw it. Next on the list is S tier. Bum bada bum 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 ba. S tier, obviously, Hiei is one of the best fruits in the game. It's a water walker. It travels really fast, so it has luxury. It's a Logia fruit. Very good in PvP. Not that great in PvE. However, it does have stuns in PvE, so if you're working with a team in dungeons, you can get those done very well. You can even technically solo dungeons with Hiei. However, you have to be very aggressive and sword-orientated in order to do so. So it's possible. It's not fantastic at PvE. However, it is actually pretty decent. A lot better than what I initially gave it credit for. And I think a lot of people forgot that Hiei has the ability to just freeze people for long periods of time and do crazy amounts of crazy amounts of stun, which makes this Pokemon, this fruit very, very good. I think it's a fantastic fruit. I think this is an S tier fruit. If you have a chance to pick up this fruit, I think you probably should. I think it's probably better than Hiei, I would say, or Hiei. It's probably better than Kage. No, maybe Kage's a little bit better because it has a little bit more utility. But it is a Logia, and it does have mobility. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at this. I think it's an S tier fruit. I think it's really good. Next on the list is Zushi. Zushi is like Gura, but Zushi is way more cracked than Gura is at the highest level. It has infinite combos in PvP, but I do think it does lack the same issues as Gura does. Now that I'm thinking about it, when you use Zushi, you're fighting and you're really aggressive and you're using stuns and it's like really good. But when you're playing Gura, you're doing the exact same things, but you're like, is it just worse? Is Zushi just worse than Gura? Because I'm thinking PvE, Gura beats it out, right? I was almost going to give it a fantastic tier. This is how I think it is. I think it goes without saying. This is how it is. Next on the list is String. String fruit is a... Also, when I said about Kage obviously has mobility. It just doesn't have mobility like Hiei does, right? Hmm. For string, I think we're talking about string might be, it's either the highest of A tier or the lowest of S tier. I think it's an S tier. It has mobility. It's like, again, top 2 or top 3 PvP fruits in the game. Really good mobility, makes the game a lot easier to travel island to island. It has crazy stuns. PvP though is not great with it. I'm gonna put it in high A tier. I have to, guys. I'm sorry. Just because it underperforms on the PvE side so hard, and I think that's why it has to go there. It underperforms on the PvE side even harder than Hiei does. And Hiei, at least when you're doing the stuns and stuff, it's useful to your team. But in dungeons, when you're just holding them in place for a second, it's good. But the other like birdcage and stuff just flings the opponents around. It pushes them across the map. You're hitting the bosses, and the bosses are going flying with all the moves. It's very atrocious, and especially with like barrages like Magu and stuff like that, you want to kind of keep them in one area so you can like focus damage. I think freezing them in one spot and doing that kind of stuff is just much more useful. As well as Kage, again, you literally have two more. You have an extra hand, a pair of hands. So I think that's why this is better when it comes down to like overall. But I think this is still a generally really great fruit. Next on the list is Tori. Tori is here. Tori is okay. This is before the actual buffs to Tori. Okay, this is before the actual buffs to Tori. Tori is in S tier, okay, right now. Tori's in S tier right now. It is going to be one of the best fruits, if not the best fruit in the entire game. Bar none. The entire game. The entirety of the entire game. It is going to be the best fruit in the game, one of the best fruits in the game, once this rework comes out. However, currently, as this video is being released, it is not the best fruit. It is not the best fruit. It is not the end-all be-all of fruits. There is a lot of problems still with it. But when those get fixed, this fruit is going to eclipse all of these. That's what I believe. However, right now it is an S-tier fruit, not an end-all be-all fruit. However, it is close. Really close. Solo dungeons. Really good in PvP. Hard to use, fun to use, and has very good luxury. Luxury of life, being able to fly and have good mobility. Also, who the hell doesn't want to turn into a phoenix? Very, very good. I think I'm gonna actually put Pika down here. I think Pika is actually not the end all be all of fruits. Maybe it is. I think yeah, it probably is. And then we have Mochi. Mochi's just a better Pika. Incredible, like future sight, very good. Crazy at PvP, really good at PvE, and like I said, Mochi acts as if you have a pseudo Logia, with your like 20 dodges. Honestly, really great fruit. Really impressed by the changes they made to it. I think that this fruit is something that you should get no matter what. Maybe it's... See, I don't... Here's the thing. I think Magus... Honestly, I think it's the third best overall, right? Magu is a water walker. It doesn't have flight, right? It doesn't have flight or mobility. But it's really good. It's brain dead for PvP. It's brain dead for PvE and dungeons. Very good for Kraken farming. Very good for sea beast farming. Very good for ship farming. This is also good for ship farming. Maybe it's the second. Mara's better than Pika for sure. I think people overhype the hell out of this. Mara's way better than Pika. Yeah, this is This is what I think. And last but not least, we got Flight for Goro, boys. Flight for Goro. We have... Alright, goodbye. This is the end of the tier list. No, I'm joking. I do think Goro is actually now one of the end-all be-alls of fruits. I do think so. It is very good in PvP. It's going to be better than PvP. I think it's going to be the best PvP fruit in the game now that it has Flight. Just because you can chase down your targets. You have stun. You have incredible damage output. It's actually really good in PvE. Very good in PvE. Now that you can fly, obviously it's going to be stamina intensive. Now that you can fly, you can actually solo dungeons with it. I'll make a video about that if you guys want me to. But you can actually solo dungeons with it. You can fly around the map. It's almost as fast as Pika, and it's controllable, and it doesn't take as much ticks as Pika does. Like I said, crazy for so many things. It is not a water walker, so that's why it's lower than that. It's not as good at soloing dungeons as Mara is. It is really, really good at PvP. It might not be as good at destroying dungeons as Pika, but I do think it's one of the end-all be-alls of fruits. Because the thing is, what would the best fruit in the game have for PvP, right? Something that can do a lot of damage, that is a Logia, right? Because it's a great ability. Something that has a stun, right? Something that has a dash. Mind you, there was only one other fruit in the game that was a Logia and had a dash, okay? And that was Pika, right? Yeah, I think that's what it is, right? The only one that had a Logia and a dash. Yeah, a Logia and a dash and a flight. It was only Pika. The only one that had it was Pika. Now Goro has all three of those. All three of those. Damage output's great. We love it. I love to see the fact that Goro can actually do a lot of damage. Like, honestly, I'm biased. I like this fruit a lot. Obviously, it could be an S tier, right? It could be top of S tier right now. Like, this might be the actual list for it. But I don't know. I think Flight's going to change it. I think the fact that it has Flight and it's so fast and it doesn't have any end lag, I think this makes it better. I honestly think it is the the do or die of the fruit. But for argument's sake, I know it might not be as good and I might be just overhyping it right now. So I'm going to put it in S tier, but I personally think it's at the end-all be-all of fruits. If somebody gets their hand on Goro, you could be happy, right? You could be happy with what you get. So nonetheless, I'm gonna make my list just like this. Maybe, I don't know. I keep going back on this. Boys, what do you think? Tell me in the comment section. What do you guys think? Is it better than Tori? It might be. I'm going to do it like this. This is the list, boys. This is the list. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys like the video, comment, all that good stuff. If you guys want to talk about this, you guys can join my Discord, ask me any questions, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for everything, all the support over these last few months. I really appreciate it. We'll be doing more GPO content, getting back into the game, because the new update's going to be on its way. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye!